Hey there, travelers. My name's Kai. Welcome to Proudly Radical. I have tea going in the other room, so I'm going to. Hey, thank you for the subscription, RB. Gonna have to take off here in a few minutes to get that done. I was gonna let another music cycle go through, actually. Yeah, sure they were. Just like Soviet Russia was as well, right? According to everybody who's never cracked a history book. Yeah. Well, glad to know that you have one. That your aunt is my stepfather. So there you go. We all seem to have one of them. And welcome, Anarcho Common. That's okay. I'm just gonna phone it in. Like I'm calling it. It's over, folks. We had an anarcho purist come through. That's what we call these fundamentalists, the ones that turn anarchism into a religion. We had one of them come through last night. I know if you've been here before, you won't see it because because the rules for chat only pop up the first time that you enter a chat room, right? Enter chat. But we now have officially rule number 3. It's, 3 months on Twitch. We managed to get up to rule number 3. Long time on Podbean got us up to rules 1 and 2. But rule number 3 is officially leave your bullshit purity tests at the door. Because flying in direct contradiction to what even like Emma Goldman would have to say about anarchism, that it's a network of ideas, not a singular dogmatic philosophy. This person, of course, spent the better part of enough time to annoy me to the point where I'm still talking about it because it's still in my fucking head that these people exist because I hate them. I really do. They do more damage on the left than anybody else. These ideologues, fundamentalists. And it seems anarchism has a strong contingent of it. I've dealt with enough of them over the years that if you fail to check this box that they have in their head, then you are out entirely. And it could be anything. For them, it was electoralism, as is very common. If you vote or if you use the state for any progressive topic whatsoever, even if it's the difference between someone starving or not, if it's the person being homeless or not, if the person not having healthcare versus having healthcare, even if it's that issue, if you utilize the state for that, then you cannot be an anarchist. And I'm over with Chomsky saying that the moral imperative stands, that in fact you have to. And that the thinkers of old who may have disagreed with he and I and multiple other people of modern era weren't in our situation. And that the wholesale dismantling of the state, or at least the neglect of a state system, welfare system under attack, and allowing it to be attacked because you refuse to participate in that electoral battle or that ideological warfare, in the name of philosophic or ideological purity, then you lose the moral high ground. And I'm sure this person is talking to me from a Chinese-produced, capitalist-purchased cell phone or laptop. And so if you participate in electoralism or you utilize the state for any sort of progressive policy or to protect or negate harm wherever you can, you're off the roll call. But it's cool if I use slave-produced products to yell about this. I hate these people. I truly, truly do. They drive me further up the wall than any other group, even the neolibs. Yes, we're talking about the purity pests from last night. I fucking hate them. I truly despise them with all of my being. But from now on, what's going to happen? Kat, you weren't around for the last like 45 minutes or last 45 minutes to hour of the show, were you? We had purity pests, as Mitre puts it, or as Two Rabbit put it, Puritopians. Basically, the fact that I allowed for electoralism to walk in the door means I'm no longer an anarchist. It was infuriating. It truly was just obnoxious, trying to control my language, you know, like there's fucking, I want to sound like Meat Tray right now. Let's just put it that way. I hate those people. They cause more damage than anybody else. Yes, Cat. I mean, I kept asking, can you set up that parallel system tomorrow? Do you have a parallel mutual aid network that can take care of the healthcare needs of the country? No. Are you in a position to convince the vast majority, like a critical mass of Americans, to get on board with your program? No. Then you're violating the NAP. You're going to step over a homeless person and refuse to help them that day because you can't build them a house and pay for it in perpetuity. These people who get lost in this pursuit of their idealistic perfection, and they eschew all progress. And then they sit there from their pseudo-moralistic high castle and shit on everybody else around them. They piss me off so much. They really do, because they do active harm, not only in the community by eschewing progress that could be made. You could be on team helping some of this shit, but you're not going to because morals. You're also working as a wedge or a divisionary tactic on the left as well. So a Ramsey suggested after the show, just accuse them of being FBI or agent provocateurs of some sort from now on. He said, just write them off. And I'm going to do that. From now on, I will discuss the purity thing a little bit, but if they insist, then I'm going to hit them from that angle instead. You're an agent provocateur, aren't you? You're like some FBI internet troll or something like that, you're designed to sow seeds of discord amongst the left, right? You're here to create division. Who you working for? You working for the Koch brothers? You working for the FBI? What three-letter agency you work for? Fuck them. I'm going to dismiss them from now on. I'm just going to completely dismiss these fuckers. Cool. Anarcho-commune. I work for George Soros. All disenfranchised voters are actually super smart, bro. They just need someone to represent them. Yeah, exactly, Al. I'm over interacting with these people. Hence, rule number 3 from now on, leave your purity tests at the door. If you're going to come in here and have a fucking checklist that I have to meet to call myself an anarchist, then you can fuck right off. And I'm going to undermine your argument with mockery and disingenuous argumentation and rhetorical device because they don't use it. At one point, I literally asked this fucking, hey, Zealot. Exactly, Kat. 100%. I mean, I asked him, I'm like, tell you what, since I failed your fucking your rubric multiple times now, since I can't find a way to pass your test, what is the win condition for your test? Like, what would I have to say to win this? And of course, it was any advocation essentially for, that utilizes the state makes you a sock dem. Oh, by the way, I've turned off unban requests. They're off. There is no more requesting unbans on this channel. We either decide as a community, yes, MLs are sock dems. No, they're not coming back. Mitra, like there is no unban for that person. I will give second chances to huge amounts of people, and if they Mitre or Kat or anybody else, if you guys have your whispers open, if you have your DMs open and they contact you and they're reasonable and they want to talk, then you know you can relay that information to me. But unban requests, no. No, I'm tired of letting them get the last word in. I'm tired of fucking seeing messages that, you know, fucking whiny or just more insults or more horrific, racist, bigoted shit, depending on who you're dealing with. Yeah, I'm 100% over it. So unban requests are, and rule 3, no more purity tests. So there you go. Only in DMs will they beg and insult you. See, this is the thing, Lucy. It wasn't particularly fireworksy. It's just annoying, right? Like right-wingers, authoritarians. We had a couple of Nazis, actually, that were more interesting than this person. This is my thing. This is the thing that annoys the fuck out of Kai the most because it's near and dear to my heart, and it drives me up a wall that basically, if I try and convert people to anarchism, it's going to be a sliding spectrum. It's going to be a sliding scale. Not everybody's going to be in the fucking street with a balaclava tomorrow situation. And these annoying fuckers will actively dissuade people from converting because of they have their bullshit purity tests. And if you don't check that box, then you don't get to call yourself an anarchist. Like, they drive me up a wall. They do so much harm, both within community and in the general world. I truly, truly hate them. You know, people are like, oh, well, hate's a strong word. I know. Trust me, I know. This is a topic very near and dear to my heart. And the fact that these people are out there doing that kind of moralistic harm, it's the same thing as fucking evangelical and fundamentalist Christians. They're out there fucking screaming about Jesus, but meanwhile, they're like, yeah, fuck the homeless. Fuck that person and their health care. Fuck that person who needs food stamps. Screw that. If the church wants to help them, it can. Nothing else. So if the mutual aid network wants to help them, nothing else. Sorry, how is this different from fundamentalist religious people? I don't see the difference. People piss me the fuck off. And like I said, the whole while using a device that was, okay, so if I utilize electoralism and the state to make progress and good, I'm betting you have a car or you've used gasoline or oil sometime in your life. You're using a Chinese-made electronic device that I guarantee has slave labor somewhere in the supply line. And I bet you'd argue that, well, we use it for organizing and we use it for setting up mutual aid networks. So it offsets. Fuck them. I'm sick of those people. So, yeah. That I had to get that out. I had to. Yeah, what difference? Where? Exactly. They're the same fucking thing. Yeah, they are, that type of person is welcome to ask once, and if they exhibit that sort of puritanical behavior, that evangelical behavior, feel free to ban them instantly. I don't care. It's that simple. I will not put up with that shit again. So. Well. Sam's not on team. I can fucking handle that. I don't care if Sam makes Huxleyism fucking look bad. Hey, Hero. Mike X. No, this was last night's stream. This was 4 hours in. I don't know how much of it you caught, but basically leftist infighting and purity tests. I despise them, and people treat... There are brands of leftists that treat their political philosophy and ideology like fundamentalist or evangelical religious types treat their religion. And it really gets under my skin. It makes for an environment that, one, is infuriating and divisionary for those of us who are already on team. And then, two, it makes it nearly impossible for us to convert anyone. Praise be the Lord brought on. They are counterproductive. They are destructive. And yeah, we had, I mean, you know, over 45 minutes. There was probably, you know, there's 52 people concurrently through most of that. But cycle over, you know, there's probably 75 or 100 people that got to experience that sort of fucking douchebaggery. And it makes the left look bad. It's a problem. It's a problem. The left is so different in Latin America. The left in the North feels so new, so fresh, so young. I mean, there's a long tradition of it here. I mean, you know, 1880s. I mean, even before then, but, you know, 1850 to 1880s, it really sort of kicks off. And then really 1880s to 1920s, it fucking finds its ground game. But due to conservative manipulation, social changes, propaganda, perceptions after World War I and II, the left sort of takes a hit in America and definitely falls back on its heels for quite some time. And so, yeah, I understand that sort of feeling, but there is a long storied tradition. There is. Always felt that appealing to libs it's this lack of solidarity that's embarrassing. Oh, it's so fucking embarrassing. I always felt that appealing to libs right is much more productive than appealing to libs. Yeah. They were faux doctrine heads. Oh, they were so obnoxious. That's the thing, ain't it? They should know that the science of left-leaning those to adjust your praxis to the material conditions of your time. They don't. No. See, you see, it was written in a book in year X, and it is so. Dynamic praxis and adjusting to, you know, the material conditions of your time was not in this person's playbook or the other moron's playbook. There was two of them, but there was one primary. And there was, Ramsey suspected they were the same person using two accounts. Because he was talking to them as well. And when, like, one took over, he didn't even notice. Like, he literally, he said it was afterwards that I realized that those were two different people. He said, I thought they were just the same person. Honestly, I think it's easier to convince right-wingers. I do too. Most of them believe in freedom. You just have to convince them that being a free person is more important than having a fake free market. I sincerely do. I with you. I disagree. Liberals show way more idealistically than rightists do generally, and this is what is important here, I think. I think classical liberals do. I think what we would find as a neoliberal in today's day and age, no. Nobody said they were easy. They said they were easier than the subgroup we're talking about, Camel. My name's Kai, by the way. You can call me Kai. K-A-I. Yeah, it's a comparative scale, not an absolute scale. Don't get us wrong. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you show me a classical liberal, we already share 65%. That's not a difficult sell. But you show me a liberal in today's day and age in America, good luck. I don't know. That's just me. What are you gonna do? And yeah. Hey, Lotus. So yeah, but there's my there's my instructions moving forward. Cat, Mitre. You catch somebody doing the purity test bullshit, I'll answer it once. They ask again, you ban them. If they keep going after it, you just get rid of them. They are fundamentalists, and there's no converting them. There's no having a conversation with them usually. It's absolutely ridiculous. Feel free to warn them. Feel free to tell them to back off. Feel free to do whatever you feel you need to do for your praxis. But yeah, I will not engage after that first engagement any longer. Classical liberal, I just think of, hey, just because Sargon sullied the, just because somebody fucking, like, oh, I'm a libertarian, we got to, L, you know better than anybody. We got to start taking these words back. We're letting assholes run around and use these fucking words too much. I'm like, oh, I'm this. Motherfucker, we want our word back. Lotus, it's primarily you're not as anarchy as me. Right? If you're not actively throwing a Molotov cocktail through a Starbucks window at this moment, then clearly you aren't an anarchist, uber ultra super anarchist, and so you don't get your membership card. Hey, Lynx. Yeah. It's those types. Get rid of them. They're damaging to the praxis. Yeah, exactly, Lotus. Yeah, dick measuring of edgy punk mentality. 100%. Not early, cool boy. Fridays are 5:30 p.m. my time. With fundies, you just gotta say, hey man, but a groupie session with 2 Russian women, how about that gayness? I actually said that to someone in their group, went, what the fuck? One went, ew. Yeah, they aren't throwing shit anyway. They're having book club meetings at a Vanguardish bookstore somewhere. Usually. They drop a trunk full. Hey, rock on, cool. They drop a trunk full of food off at Food Not Bombs once, maybe every 5 months. And they talk deep theory or doctrine with their in-group, and then they just go around and talk shit to other people. Yeah. They mystify me. They really do. Hey, Camel. Oh, nope. You're talking to Lynx, probably. Yeah, I was gonna say, you're probably talking to Lynx. There we go. Lotus, but I sleep in a bathtub unlike you, so fuck off. I sleep wherever I sleep. I've been doing that for years. My bedroom, I don't even have a bed proper. I have this, like, custom latex foam pad it's natural latex from a small company in California, rather than one of the big ass mattress firms. And I sleep on the floor on that pad, or randomly on the floor or a couch. I've been that way for a while. Camel, I killed that because of reasons. If you want a link, I can issue you one. There you go. Yeah. We can't risk the, you're welcome. We can't risk the random brigading. So it had to go. I sleep on a sunken-in couch most nights because of supreme laziness. Self-discipline is a tool of the man. Fuck yeah, Lotus. Yeah, I've been doing that for years and years and years now. I don't... There's an apocryphal old saying. I have no idea. Depending on who you talk to, it could be Chinese, it could be Finnish, it could be Dutch, it could be African. I've heard it ascribed to just about everybody who isn't American, right? They who sleep on the floor doesn't fall out of bed. I don't fall out of bed. See, now if I type OnlyFans, you're the only profile that comes up. See, I would throw you 666 one time. Just as like community praxis. I don't. Is there an option to give you money on that and not fucking see? They need a checkbox. Just donating. Can I gift a sub? Links. Is that possible on OnlyFans? Like, not for me. Yeah, don't show me the nudes. Yeah, that's I would like to gift a sub to somebody who wants it. They need that. They need that as a function, actually. Because I don't see it here, right? Fucking subscription. Yeah, no. Oh, Kingpin, I don't get it either. Trust me, I don't get it. As someone who grew up on the internet, especially as a gay dude, trust me, like, I don't get it. Like, people who are paying for nudes, like, I guess there's, like, it's always the amateur thing. It's the exclusivity that, you know, only so many people have these. And, you know, it's not mass produced and everybody has rubbed one. I guess that's it, but yeah, I don't get it. Links, make a suggestion that they need to donate a subscription function. You need to suggest that. That would be... Zealot, I have a brothel like 10 minutes from my front door. I don't understand OnlyFans. Welcome to Australia. I did a thing. You're not as anarchy as me. Right? If you're not actively throwing a Jesus Christ, cat Starbucks window at this moment, then clearly you aren't an anarchist. Like uber ultra super anarchist. And so you're not as anarchist. Yeah, you can get me. You do realize that like racist one that you made is like, I think, the top viewed one at this point already. Fucking, god damn it, you know how to clickbait people. Yo, Links, I love the URL naming schemes that fucking Twitch uses. Jesus Christ. Adventurous Respectful Cream Doritos Chip. OnlyFans is just me monetizing my desire to send nudes. Bit less harassy than just randomly DMing. Want some nudes? And you're welcome to do that so long as I can continue to pay these brothel workers to make Magic, to play Magic the Gathering with me. Zealot, have you ever done that? Be honest. Because that's the funniest fucking thing if you have. Legitimately. That's baller. I'm just here to, like, take your top off and let's play Magic the Gathering. I did once give a girl a deck of cards so she'd play with me. Did she play with you? Me, Trey, volunteering for the harassment mode. It looks like it's gonna be a Friday stream. Oh, Cat. Cat. DM me your email address that you want me to forward the Ground Game LA Mutual Network email to. Toss me whichever email address you want that to go to, and I'll forward it over. Because Tim sent me that last night with some details. So I'll kick that over to you. Yeah, she did. Now she has a Magic the Gathering tattoo also. Rock on, Zealot. All right. At least it produced results. Yeah, I got nothing against OnlyFans. I just don't understand it. That's all. All right. So we need yeah, that needs to go away. Because that's not a thing either anymore. Let me fix that. Move that around a little bit. Wish I could stretch it higher, but I can't. Doesn't work that way. Blink's out here shelling. Exactly, Zealot. Like, you do you. Hey, so... Good afternoon or good night? No, Abend. It's got to be good afternoon. Evening. Evening. Okay. Okay. So, shouldn't it be night? Well, or morning. But either way, hey there, Joe. And what's with this German in chat? I'm suspicious. Can't trust it when there's fucking German being talked. You never know what they might be getting up to. We had Joe. I just came back from the main train station. Some lovely soul gifted me some nice hash. That's amazing.
Amazing.
We had 2 Nazis last night, Joe. Like, not like you're a fucking Nazi, man. No. Like, hey, are there any National Socialist Twitch channels? Like, Cat called one of them. Mad props, by the way. When I was talking to a Ramsey, Cat, like, mad compliments. He's like, dude, Cat had him from sentence 1. Like, pegged. Like, literally pegged. Like, oh, yep, there's a Nazi. Fucking right there. And you had your eye on that dude the whole fucking time. Yeah. It was interesting. Like, it was weird. Like, you know, we get fascists, we get authoritarians, but for somebody to, like, actually be, like, yeah, like, in that vein. Oh, Camel. Call me the Chud Whisperer. Oh, no, Camel, we have them. And there's even an infamous video of the National Socialist Party having a rally in Madison Square Garden back in the day. There's a vein that exists in America that most people don't want to talk about. That it does exist. It's not as huge. It's not a particularly big thing, but there are neo-Nazis. They exist. And yeah, last night we had a pair of them. And it was fucking weird as fuck to actually get a couple of masks off. California and New York are the heaviest that I'm aware of, Q1. But Mississippi, Tennessee, and there's another one also have a strong contingent. But they are a countrywide phenomenon. They're a global phenomenon, actually. But yeah, SPLC keeps track of them to a certain extent. You can pay attention to that and check their activity. Check your activity with them. But yeah, it is a vein of ideology that has not died off entirely. And you can find people ascribing to and espousing, the ideals of the Nazi Party in modern day America. Nazis are always there. They never went away. And if you're wondering, Joe is German. He speaks from a very interesting position on this sort of thing. They never went away. We won the battle, but the fascists have not lost the war. Fair enough. I mean, Demian, how are you not already falling? Either way, welcome back, my man. No, they tend to just kill people directly. Oh, no, that's the misnomer. They killed off the socialists. I mean, literally, Camel. They really killed off the socialists. Yeah. It's like the Democratic Republic of North Korea. Just because you say it doesn't make it the thing that you're saying. It's propaganda 101. Yeah. Yeah, the National Socialist Party was not socialist. They murdered the Socialist Party. Yeah, they actually rounded up the socialists. You know that whole passage about, and then they came for me, but there was no one left? Okay, that? Yeah, it starts off with trade unionists, and then at first they came for the trade unionists, then they came for the socialists, then they came for, yeah. The socialists are in the list of people they rounded up, and I didn't say anything. Yeah, yeah, it's why the FBI, the DOJ, and really? It's by a German pastor by the name of Martin Niemöller. Sorry, Joe. But here you go, Camel. Here's the link to the entire thing. First, they came for the communists, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, aka syndicalists. And I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. And then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak out for me. Yeah, it's actually a confession on his part. Like it's widely recognized as a confession. It was something that truly weighed on his heart. Yeah. If you don't speak up, then yeah, that's what happens. There is no such thing as an ideal economic system. It's all a spectrum of progress and transitionary stages. Cool. First step you need to take is something towards syndicalism, re-implementation of trade unionism. You need to get the unions re-empowered. You need to re-democratize the workplace. but that's just the first step on the journey. Where you end up is open for discussion, right? I would like to see something closer to a sort of communitarian style of system. You can definitely slide over into a socialist market system. I'm literally answering it in the same sentence. But hey, be an asshole. I'm already in a bit of a mood. I'm sure the mods will love these people. Sell it. I'm too lazy to press the button. You know what? Gone. Oh, he's already gone, Joe. No, because semantical distinction matters in a technical or academic setting, right? When you're having a political or an engineering or a technical conversation, the semantics of the conversation actually matter, and you have to understand that you either do or don't have shared language initially, and you have to establish that. So, yes, being a bit of a pedant is the difference between the Marslander pancaking itself or not. It's the difference between people getting slaughtered in a genocide and not. Sleep well, Lynx. So, ideal economic system, fully automated luxury space gay communism. There you go. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Love you, Lynx. If you want to talk end state. Oh, I need to get my tea. Mods, you know. Yeah, I started it. I didn't finish it, Joe, but I did actually start the movie. Well, sorry, I don't want to waste time. In the yeah, it's definitely got an edgy title. In the interest of brevity and seeking not to waste time, I'll just say fuck off. How's that? I wouldn't want to mince words or be pedantic. I want to speak in a common language that, you know, you understand. Cool T100. Stop being a cunt. Not in the mood today. Not in the mood. These fuckers want to be little bitches, then fine. Let's treat them like they want to be treated. Bratty subs just want yeah, I know, Zealot. I try and refrain because Americans really hate that word, but I love it as much as you guys do. It's a great fucking word. Yeah, but they just want daddy to spank them. Fine, fine. Today, we're spanking them. Generally, I refrain. From time to time, Kat. From time to time, yeah. I won't make a habit out of it, but there are days where, yeah, I'm already annoyed, and you get a fucking dog whistle and fucking talk about BLM causing $2 billion in damage, and oh, capitalism has yet not caused the same problems as anything else, and blah, 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 and fucking... You know, you would be like, oh, the pedant streamer fucking being fucking... No, because we don't share common language. I don't know who the fuck you are. And, I mean, that's as best as we can track capitalism. Yeah, capitalism, I mean, based on food and starvation... Yeah. The untold masses, the ones that, you know, we didn't even know existed. Cunt quacks are the best quacks. Yeah. I am very tangled up here. Hang on, give me 1 second. There we go. Now, let's rewrap. Yeah. Well, because Dutch East India slavery forward definitely was a capitalistic endeavor. Those numbers have to be included as well. You have a tier 2 sub. You probably have a tier 3 to Lena. Yeah, that's the problem, is tracking a lot of those numbers is extraordinarily difficult to do. I mean, the margin of error could be literally 200%. And we wouldn't even fucking know. Oh, and I didn't even get to talk about it because I started the show with a rant. Did everybody see the House of Representatives in the U.S. passed they passed a bill for the federal legalization of cannabis? Highly unlikely to make it past the Senate, but, you know, it is what it is. A little progress here and there. It was decriminalization? Ah, fair enough. I'll take decriminalization. It's not from the Trump administration. It's from the Democrats in the House of Representatives, Camel. It had nothing to do with the Trump administration. Yeah. Those fuckers. I don't think he'd even sign the bill. He's being such a petulant child these days. But it's not gonna, with McConnell in the Senate, and the way the fucking Republicans have been behaving in the Senate forever, it's doubtful it'll make it anywhere. Yeah, that's some Democrat progress if I've ever seen it. Passing something that should have been done decades ago in a way that'll never actually take effect in law. Yeah. Oh, it's only Schedule 2. Lovely. You know what? I take it all back. It's a useless bill, and fuck them. We're going to move it from Schedule 1 to Schedule 2. Yeah. Opiates are Schedule 2. Morphine, lower tabs, all that sort of stuff. Those are Schedule 2s. Well, SJ, just let the Republicans do what they're doing and divide themselves in Georgia. They're doing a really good job of fracturing their voting base. I would say just get out of their way. You know, when your enemy's making a mistake, don't interrupt them. Right now, those Trump cultists and right-wing hardliners are screaming bloody murder about not supporting the Republicans because of X, Y, and Z. And so, yeah, just step to the side and be like, you know, let them do their thing. Encourage them actively to vote for Donald Trump, because I saw that as a fucking protest thing. That, you know, write Donald Trump in on the fucking ballot. Yeah, do that. Spoil your ballot, please, you fucking idiot. So, yeah, just let them do them. Oh, where did that go? Yeah, just a percentage. All right. So what's everybody been up to? I know Joe got set up. Because without the federal government backing off of it, Q, what ultimately happens is the banking industry can't allow for transactions or deposits. So it remains a cash business, and it ultimately hamstrings the cannabis sales and the marketplace as a whole. There has to be federal decriminalization or legalization in order to get past the interstate transfer stuff, to get past the banking regulation stuff, to allow for a overall national narrative. The states can do it, but it still remains illegal federally, which means the FBI, the DEA, can still come in and confiscate, can raid, as evidenced in California for many years, as evidenced by seizures. And also, some of these states aren't going to fucking come along. They're going to drag their feet the whole way. And so, let's say I have two states across from each other with one bullshit state in between. I got to drive up and around this bullshit state to transfer product? What is this for interstate commerce? Like, what does this say about interstate commerce? No. It actually needs to be handled. It needs to be handled at the federal level as well. Because there are real-world economic ramifications of that federal Schedule 1 classification. Yeah, Destiny's pulling fucking 80+ people every weekend to canvas in Atlanta. That's solid. That's solid fucking praxis. He's got his viewers out there and fucking doing shit boots on the ground. I mean, you know, that is something. That is actual something. So, congratulations and laudations where applied. Yeah, exactly. He's a total sack of shit, maybe, but he's more effective than 90% of the lefties, so there you go. It's hard to argue with somebody actually doing something, right? What are we down to? Hang on. What is it, next Thursday? God damn it, I don't want my fucking feed. There. 4 days, 21 hours, 25 minutes, and 48 seconds left. It's okay, Joe. It's automatic. It's automatic. My rage is sort of calmed down a little bit, a little burned out from it, to be perfectly honest. So, let's do. I'm thinking. That's fine. I'm thinking we may. I don't know. Nothing feels organic enough. I was thinking wacky music or fucking shitty movies or something like that. Because quite frankly, I did a ton of theory yesterday and, you know, having to defend positions that I shouldn't have to defend. And so I'm a little burned today. What is 636? Get out of my way. The fuck? I'm thinking I may actually order some weed. All this talk of cannabis. But I want to see what's available. See, this is the benefits of technology right here, folks. Snap deals, hybrids. I don't smoke hybrids. Or sativas. Indica. There we go. See what's up. Forgive me, I will pay attention to chat again in a minute. I do see shit moving. Eighth Star Killer for $39. That's not bad. All right. I may do that. Oh, all right. Let me scroll back. Oh, Mr. Strimmer, I went to an exclusive private school and I hang out with other private school mates that also don't work, and we discuss our insurrectionist LARPing during book clubs at our parents' mansions. Can you please tell me how you're an anarchist? Because trade unions are oppressive. Monster Depot TV. Welcome, by the way. What do you do? Survival, horror, RPG, and adventure. I don't do horror, but I'll check you out sometime. I'm always looking for another gamer streamer. I'm not one, but I love watching gamer streamers. I've got a collection. Basically, we had a pair of, across the board, there was a whole host of, authoritarian and National Socialists, little neo-Nazis. But the ones that got to me the most were the fundamentalist anarchists that treat it as that utilize a purity test of sorts, that treat it as a singular dogmatic philosophy or position, and it is the most disruptive and divisive position that you could probably take in and around, a political area, is that sort of purist, utopic, as Two Rabbit calls them, puretopians, position. That fundamentally what you're dealing with is somebody that has allowed for such a tight rubric or set of parameters that are required to be met before anybody can be, on team, that you can never get anybody on team. And they're just so obnoxious. And as Mitre pointed out, generally speaking, what you're dealing with is somebody who is so indoctrinated into theory, and they don't understand realism and pragmatism. The kind of pragmatism that any sort of working class position would understand. That progress is not made in giant leaps and bounds. It's made in incremental units. And then seen, hey, Ace. Look at you. What's up? Gotta... and, so you have these sort of LARPing, live-action role-playing. You have these sort of LARPers that call for revolution and call for insurrectionary measures without understanding what they even are and what it would do to society or the vulnerable or the working class. They also don't know real life in general, says Joe. Define socialism for me. Death before socialism. Go ahead and define socialism. Quick, define socialism. You can do it. Tell me what socialism is. Exactly, Monster Depot. Without thinking about consequences. They don't, that's not what they're about. They're about an ideological purity and sort of a tribalistic team mechanic. And that's it. They're about the aesthetic or the nameplate that they get to wear, and not about the actual progress that that group tends to pursue. It's infuriating to deal with. Well, you got one at least. I'll pull it. I'll pull it. It's okay, Joe. I'm surprised you got that, to be perfectly honest. So you've exceeded my expectations. Congratulations. Call to violence. Bye. Yeah, no mod infighting, cat. Can't be done. Yes. Call to violence, you're gone. Death before socialism. Saying that the cure to socialism is an M16 is out. Have a good one. God bless. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Thanks for falling into the punji stick trap that is clearly labeled and everyone knows about. Just fucking walking face first into that fucking that punji stick trap. Just like, ah, da 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 da. Hey, look, there's the punji sticks. Floomp. Everybody knows you can't make calls to violence. Zealot, woodwork and steelwork in the sun, then rock climbing. Jesus Christ, Zealot. Yeah, I'm surprised you're breathing. Yeah, leave our rice field alone, GI. There was somebody I was talking to. Oh, it was Monster Depot. That's why. I was like, there was somebody I was having a conversation with before he had to deal with the fucking chud. Why can't they play? They don't even try to have a good time. Because humor is difficult to do when you're a conservative. I mean, the best you get out of them is Dennis Miller and Larry the Cable Guy. Meanwhile, you know, I've said it before, the left has all of the greats. It's nice. They're always uptight. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Kappa. Yeah. It is. It is. Ah, you're welcome, Monster. Yeah, it's one of those things that you... Yeah, don't forget Tim Allen. Hey, Ursa. They need to normalize volume on Pretzel. Yeah. Oh, no. I know, but I prefer it, Lucy. I prefer it the way you spell it. That's funnier. I don't know why. But yeah, it is one of the most infuriating things to deal with in the left of the political spectrum. The right, they have their infighting from time to time, but the fact of the matter is it's usually an anomaly. Usually when push comes to shove and there's shit to get done, the political right of the spectrum binds together instantaneously. And you'd be surprised the shit that they will excuse. Oh, you wouldn't be surprised because you've probably lived through it. Doesn't matter if it's a kid fucker or even. Like, they don't care. Like, if there's an agenda to get pushed and they need it, they want it pushed, it's getting done. Meanwhile, you look over on the left and they're busy with, you know, whether you're wearing the wrong color or not to the protest. It's... The levels and depths of leftist infighting are some of the most infuriating things to deal with. And, yeah, I try and run as big a tent as possible, but there are limits to what I can, you know, include. And when you become disruptive and divisive and authoritarian in your prescriptions, then it's time for you to leave. And, you know, maybe reflect on yourself, though they never do. So, yeah. Yeah, it is a thing, Monster. But, like I said, usually I'm far more animated. I'm far more into theory. I'm far more, you know, engaging. Like, I would have conversations with these chuds. But today, it was a long stream yesterday. It was. As far as I've seen and heard, the far right, the wingnut types, are as purity-driven as the left, far left. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. I mean, I've interacted with both, and you have a mate that keeps track of certain Nazi sites. To what end, Mitre? To what end does he do that? I'd be interested to speak with him, too. That seems like an interesting project. Because I know, who is it? Vivian? Yeah, it's Mix Vivian, right? Does that as well. Fuck yeah, I've been waiting for this version of Kai. Yeah, the last few times it's been around, Joe, it hasn't, you know, you haven't been here. 'Cause he's a mega troll. Interesting. He does it just for shits and giggles. Holy fuck. That's some dedication. Props to him then, I guess. Oh, let's talk about this dumbass. Speaking of dumbasses, Pastor Bob Bryant. Pastor Bob Bryant died on Monday morning. He was the pastor of the Water of Life Community Church in San Bernardino County. Well, he was one of the pastors who was a member of the network of churches that was pushing Governor Newsom to give exemptions to churches because they are safe spaces and God will protect and all of that sort of bullshit. Well, he caught COVID and died. He's, I don't know, pastor number 42, 45, 50 that we've covered this year that I've talked about. I don't even have the energy to revel in this one. Usually I get a good chuckle out of it. But I don't know how many of these fucking pastors who are convinced that God's going to protect them from COVID need to die from COVID before their parishioners start paying the fuck attention. Hey there, devil. Hail to the thief. While I hugely cherish the amount of education and knowledge that you've laid down for these ignorant souls so far, you just gotta don't give a fuck once in a while. It's healthy. Preach. Camel. George Carlin said that. It was just his time. Exactly, Monster Depot. It was just his time. It was his time to go. It was God's plan. Mysterious ways and all of that. These people are amazing. Fucking amazing. Oh, in India, that was an interesting video. Sure, Solaris, why not? All right. Stop it. So if you're wondering, I'm not going to fucking play a trailer on air. I'll look it up though. If you're wondering, these are nurses in India who are on strike because they haven't been paid in months. In India. How you think that level of poverty works out? So they're protesting, they're on strike. They're sitting in front of the hospital. So these are cops beating them with sticks. It's just a few bad apples. It's not that a coalescing of power and authority with an unchecked set of parameters, and in order to maintain the status quo by the ruling elite, goes exactly as intended. Yeah, it's you know, they're literally slave labor right now. It's either get back in that hospital and fucking work for free, or don't work, or get beaten in the street. if you dare say anything about it. Okay, so I just listened to, I haven't finished it yet, but I started. I've been saving this, right? Doug Stanhope has a 2020 album out. And I was saving it for when I needed it, right? And I started listening to it today while I was making food. And he has a bit on Indian gang rape. And it is fucking brutally funny. Because how he frames it in the end. It's a blatantly racist bit. It's blatantly racist. And it's intentionally so. And he literally comes towards the end and he says that now what I want you to think about is whether it's okay to use racism to combat gang rape. And no matter what you decide, you're the disgusting monster. Because either you are in favor of racism or you're an apologist for gang rape. And basically, if you had laughed at any point through the entire joke, you're fucked. I love those sorts of setups he does. I adore him for that sort of that, putting you into that kind of moral quandary position. You're fine, monster. Another riot put down, right? You're fine. Yeah. I needed that fucking from Doug. Just give me something that is so inappropriate and fucking funny. Like, that's these sorts of... You can't joke about this. You can't cross that line. You can't say this. You can't say that. Eventually it gets tiring and, you know, you need a good comedian to come along and go, no, actually it is funny. You can make it funny. Carlin infamously said, he said, you know, for his example, he said, you know, some people say you can't joke about rape. Well, it just depends. Is the joke funnier than the rape? If it's funnier than the rape is tragic, then you'd be surprised who you can get to laugh at it. Porky Pig. Camel knows. Porky Pig. Yep, it's Porky Pig raping Elmer Fudd. And it just, I mean, that's the thing, is you have to understand that to a certain degree. It's like, yeah, Camel, Stanhope will never not. And, you know, I do too. I think he's right. And, you know, Stanhope will never, he'll die on that hill. He will. He would happily die on that hill. There's blokes all around the place, even on the left, that would advocate gang rape if it meant fighting racism. I bet they would. Me try. I see, that's why I love that sort of moral quandary position that Stanhope puts you in this routine. Is like, you really are forced to choose. And, you know, I don't enjoy Don Rickles. You know, but at least, you know, yeah, I can appreciate it. It's fine, Camel. Like, have your opinion. I mean, trust me, there's plenty of people that hate Doug Stanhope because he's crass and politically incorrect and doesn't give a fuck about that, any of the stuff that you're gonna give a fuck about. And I adore the man. He's, in my opinion, the greatest living comic. He's the comedian's comedian. Red Fox was funny as fuck. Yeah. Yeah, he's got a 2020 album. Monster. It is called... Hey now. Go back. The Dying of a Last Breed. That's the 2020 album. Yeah, I just, yeah, I needed it today. Today I was very much in a sort of fuck the left fucking mode. Yeah, I'm more of a stand-up comic kind of guy. I've always had a thing for stand-ups. It's okay. We can't all be perfect Americans from the land of the free, home of the brave. Stephen Wright's fucking... Somebody was convinced he had retired, but I put him on the... He's still touring. If you want to go see Stephen Wright. You either love Stephen Wright or you don't get Stephen Wright. 100%. Yeah, there seems to be very little middle ground with Stephen Wright. Yeah. That is a very particular delivery style of comedy, and I mean, I know my mom heard him on XM radio one time a few years back, and she mentioned it to me in passing that she's like, there's this guy and he's just sort of droll and he just sort of goes on in this just monotone voice. I'm like, oh, I bet that was Stephen Wright. I'm like, guarantee it. I'm like, and she's, yeah, I think so. I think that may have been the name. I'm like, yeah, that's Stephen Wright. You either get it or you don't. It's in that like Kaufman territory of you either get this or you don't. Or I should say, it's not that you get it, it's that it works for you. It either works for you or it doesn't. Yeah. Yeah, but I like my comedians to have an agenda. I like them to have a point that they're trying to get across. So, Bill Hicks, Doug Stanhope, George Carlin, these are my like high water marks because they're preachers at their core. They are preaching. And I think that comedy is probably the most successful and useful tool for changing people's minds the quickest. He's aged fine like wine. His stone cold face seems to be become better, and he just seemed to know how to be much funnier and stand up with their delivery. You said George Carlin, but I forgot the others. George Carlin, Doug Stanhope, and Bill Hicks, because they all have social purposes. They have a message. Yeah, and those were the three I mentioned, and so yeah, Bill Hicks was in there. Yeah, I like my comedian to have a message. I really do. Much like I love musicians to have a message. This is why I like punk. Hicks was definitely Dark Horse. Hicks was, as Blair Butler, who knew him probably the best, put it, Hicks always wanted to be Jesus at his angriest. That's what Hicks wanted to be. And I love the man for it. Champagne Socialist. You seen Jim Jeffries' latest stuff? From the little I saw, it seemed pretty boomerish comedy. I mean, it's inevitably headed that direction, and Jim Jeffries has had a few bits over the years that are really good. He's funny. He's capable of being funny. And occasionally he has a very salient, poignant point to make. And he makes it, but the routine about his friend with muscular dystrophy and taking him to a whorehouse so he can get off is his high watermark. Plain and simple. That is the truest of true that a comedian can get, and it speaks to human experience and suffering and helping alleviate that suffering in ways that people usually don't even think of, that are conditions that are correlated with those conditions. And that for him is, for me, his high watermark. I don't think he can beat that. I don't think he's got it in him. So yeah, as he gets older, his comedy is going to get, as you put it, a little more boomerish. Unless all of a sudden, Monster, you haven't seen that routine? Oh my God. Here you go, Monster Depot. Congratulations. You're one of the lucky 10,000 learning of something new for yourself today. You'll enjoy it. You will. How do you feel about separating entertainment from politics? I've seen a bunch of people say that entertainers should stay away from politics. No. Personally, I've always seen media and politics intertwined, but I'd love to hear what do you have to say. Politics is pervasive in everything. There's no way to separate politics from entertainment because entertainment is inherently political. Artists have political positions. Whether you consider a TV star or a movie star an artist is a whole other ball game. But this goes back to the court jester, right? It goes before that, but it goes back to the court jester. Performers have always spoken truth to power. This is a grand tradition within the art form, be it theater, poetry, song. It is intrinsic and fundamentally intertwined with it. And so to separate politics from entertainment is naive, short-sighted, myopic. Definitely the language of the oppressor, to use a horrible turn of phrase that the left loves to use a lot. It is the language of the oppressor to say, like, oh, you're not allowed to do that because it's effective, because they have a platform. Because if Taylor Swift comes out and says you're a fucking authoritarian dickhead, there's like 12 million people that are gonna think immediately you're an authoritarian dickhead. That's power that terrifies people. So you better, of course, the people who are in power or on the other side of that power want that kept in check all the time. And it has always been the other way around. Politics pervades and influences every single thing in the world. To separate it is a childish endeavor. It's something that, you're not allowed to do that in this game. Well, too bad. That's not how it works. Grow up. Hard for me to enjoy comedians that put conservatism in their comedy. I find it rare for an American conservative to have a good point on most of things. Anyhow, Camel, conservative comedians suck. They do. They're hacky. They use just the most hackneyed bits. The only one I could say is probably funny as fuck is like Ron White, right? He's conservative, right? He's gonna vote for a Republican. He's your conservative, but he's a good old boy that'll smoke a joint with you and get liquored up and fucking get himself arrested, right? So he's in for a good time. And so that's where, he sort of moderates that conservatism with a little bit of social liberalism, right? He's fiscally conservative. He's socially liberal. There you go. But yeah, you end up with Larry the Cable Guy and Dennis Miller and Tim Allen and, to an extent, Jerry Seinfeld. And it's just, boring. Jeff Foxworthy. Jesus Christ. Talk about a hackneyed bit if there ever was. Thanks for the bits. Anonymous. Cool boy, everyone has an opinion and should be free to express it. That's solid. Joe, satire comedy evolved as a way of speaking truth to power and maybe not getting your head cut off. We live in an unprecedented time where this kind of free speech is broadcast worldwide. Well, some firewall exceptions, but you don't know most. Most of the workarounds. Friendly neighborhood anarchists here to help if you need to ask us. We have to defend this. I don't know if your opinion is inciting hate and violence. Monster, I understand that position. Trust me, I understand it. I get it. But you should also understand. Thank you for the compliment. Infamous. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm famous. Here's where I have a problem. Basically, what you're thinking, and I bet when you're thinking that, what you're thinking somewhere in your consciousness, you've got yelling fire in a crowded theater, bouncing around in your head, right? It's in there somewhere. You are non-American, though. So that is a possibility that you may not use this particular idiom as your mental reference. But in America, the simp base grows larger. In America, this is the common touchstone for hate speech and inciting violence. That you're not allowed to yell fire in a crowded theater. Now, to understand the context behind this is to understand the Red Scare and the Palmer riots, which were at the time the largest single mass arrest set of arrests in the United States, where they rounded up people who disagreed with the United States government by tens of thousands territory, and deported them if they were immigrants. They just put them on a boat and shipped them off. The legal justification for doing this was the Sedition Act. Was it 1908? I forget the exact date on it, but it's the U.S. Sedition Act. And basically, the Supreme Court justice ruled that the deciding decision was that there should be a metric, there should be a test, and the test is exemplified by you can't yell fire in a crowded theater, right? So the very underpinnings of the modern idea of limitation of freedom of speech is tied to a government attempting to suppress the insurrectionist language that a significant portion of their populace was expressing at the time, and was directly tied and led into the Red Scares and McCarthyism in the United States of America. And so I am hesitant to go down that road because I am aware of the collateral damage that those restrictions causes. And I am a proponent of a justice system that will let 9 guilty people go to protect the 1 innocent from being put into jail. It is that style of approach, of thought, that I put into this when I talk about freedom of speech in this manner. I understand that it can cause damage, and we see it. We see it in like stochastic terroristic remarks by Donald Trump and people on the right, and there is harm that is done as a result of that. And I think that you should do something about the actions of those that are doing the harm. I think that you should maybe deplatform or socially silence those who are saying that thing. But to invite the federal government, to invite the state into that conversation is the same as inviting them into the conversation of lethality concerning self-defense. If I kill somebody in self-defense, that's one thing. If somebody is killed on my behalf by the state, that's a whole other conversation. And so these are the territory that I see. And so I'm extraordinarily hesitant to touch that because I see it as a slippery slope. And so I hope that I hope I've gotten across why I'm my trepidation with that concept effectively. Now let me scroll up because I missed a bunch of stuff. All right. I used to like Norm Macdonald sacrificing himself on television with crazy ass humor. Norm is fucking, yeah, Norm is one of those. Norm was funny. Adam Carolla was funny, and then they ran their mouths, and you're like, oh, Jesus Christ. I don't like how he aged in that point. Norm is better in interviews, telling stories. Yeah, he is a born storyteller. I know 2050 plans sound like long-term utopian, but it's really only 30 years away. Did you reference anything else besides that ghost? No, you just said that. All right. Champagne. Rogan is a great conservative comedian, but his comedy generally only covers the more left opinions. Yes, he supports Bernie, but that doesn't make him left. Lots of conservatives favor Bernie over Cheeto. I would argue that Rogan used to be a really great comedian and that he's not so much anymore. I think his 2000 special is fucking hilarious. I think his latest special is okay. But that's just my opinion. Feel free to differ. Trump had a tantrum today. What did Trump have a tantrum over, Ghost? And I know Joe from oh Jesus Christ. And as the name goes out of my head, News Radio back in the day with Phil Hartman and Andy Dick, and that's where I know Rogan from. And then stand-up comedy, and then podcast, and then MMA, and well, actually, then stand-up, Fear Factor, podcast, MMA. Yeah. And I think I said hello, but if I didn't, if I somehow managed to not to, hello there, Blue Turtle. Just a calm Friday stream. Welcome. Feel free to ask any questions. We're just sort of bouncing around a variety of topics, some political, some not. I heard of Rogan on his podcast on YouTube. Am I the only guy here who likes Rogan for MMA reasons? Probably, Kat. But you're the only guy that's really into the MMA. Yeah, there's Kat. I'm guessing you're the only one here that really likes MMA. Seahawk. Hey there, Seahawk. Wait, Joe Rogan has a podcast? No, it's Section 230 of the Communications Act. He threatened to veto a military fund, probably the NDAA, probably the Authorization Act. 59 years. That's the NDAA. It's the National Defense Authorization Act. It's the bill that gives the military their budget for the next year. And he said he'll veto it if they don't add getting rid of Section 230. He's such a petulant little bitch. Jesus Christ. Because hashtag diaper dawn trended on Twitter. Seriously. That's what that's all about. Is hashtag diaper dawn trended on Twitter, and Section 230 protects the communications carriers and the platforms themselves from those that post content, as long as they get rid of it if it is illegal in good faith. That's it. And hashtag diaper dawn wasn't fucking illegal or anything else. And so Twitter didn't have to remove it, and they didn't. And it's not, and Section 230 gives them legal cover. And so, yeah, now he's railing about fucking getting rid of Section 230 and blah, blah, blah. Fucking little bitch. Hey, Tenderizer. You feel free to feel that way, cool boy. I understand that. He's got such a huge platform, and he treats it with so little responsibility. It just drives me crazy. It truly does. Oh, Joe likes MMA. There you go. In a way. Not the business. Fuck Dana White. Kingpin, may I inquire as to why you voted for Trump? First time, second time, both times. May I inquire as to why? But and even I voted for Trump and think he has a mental issue for vetoing 230. Well, it's, you know, he wants it overturned. It's a part of the Communications Act. But yeah. Fuck all fight promotions. Interesting. Then he tweeted Republicans be tough and then rigged election and then some other BS. Camel. That was sufficiently like oddball. I really appreciate that. Someone needs to put him in a room with something scary like a pterodactyl harassing him and just watch him run around the room and record it. I appreciate that. Fucking, it's just sort of left field reference to fucking pterodactyl. Yeah, sure. Let's just dial one of those up. We have them, right? He'll make his public enemy CNN an overlord for independent journalism. Then there'd be no more if he vetoed it. That's a fair analysis. Champagne loves MMA, but the general audience. So Rick and Morty syndrome. Yep. Section 230 repeal would fuck Trump up. They wouldn't have any legal cover. Everything he posts, they'd have to pull, basically. Oh, no. Yeah, I know, Seahawk. He wears adult diapers. Long-term amphetamine abuse causes bowel incontinence. And his family's handler has spoken openly about it. He's violated his NDA multiple times and spoken at length about his amphetamine abuse and his wearing of adult diapers and how they would have to stop the filming of The Apprentice to change his diaper. Oh, yeah. That shit's on record. I don't like Elon for the same reason he says too much anti-vax shit. Elon bought his way into the position he's in. It's that simple. He really did. He even bought the title of founder of Tesla. Like, he bought the title of founder from the founders. He explicitly put it into the contract so that he could call himself the founder of Tesla. Like, that's insane. That speaks to a level of narcissism and egoism that is indicative of other behavioral flaws. There's like 1,000 billionaires. It's just an oligarchy. Oh, yeah. It's a technocratic oligarchy with, you know, corporatocracy underpinnings. But I forget who it was. Stanford, a few years back, did the analysis, and they officially ruled the U.S. an oligarchy. Haven't watched a full JRE since he had Duncan Trussell on there. Fair enough. Yeah, oh yeah, Camel. I'll try and find the guy's name. Hang on. There it is. Here's some of it, Camel. This isn't his entire set, but if you want it, there's Noel Castler, who worked on The Apprentice and had an NDA with the Trump organization and speaks about it briefly. It worries me that that's funny to you, Ghost. So first time. Hey! What's up, Corey? Thanks for the reminder, by the way.
Don't try this yourself. It's extremely dangerous.
It's not worth me getting into. Camel. This man has no shame. It's like Woodrow Wilson. They just kept on going and on and on and on with no shame. Yeah. Wilson was, I mean, you know, IRS and Fed. Wilson's administration was a whole shit show of Jesus Christ. Where do we even begin with fucking Wilson's administration? Fuck Wilson. There we go. Well, great financial risk to himself, except for that $16 billion in government-backed loans, Ghost. I mean, not entirely great risk to himself. And it wasn't necessarily the future of humanity he's thinking about. It's the fact that if he can set up asteroid mining, he understands that he will set up a literal dynasty, the likes of which this planet has never seen. If he went bankrupt, he would have protected himself using corporate shields and Jesus Christ, why is that word escaping me? Fuck it. Various other financial and legal protections. Hey, thank you for the little kingpin. Do I hold any Bitcoin at present? No, I do not. No, because I understand it to be the currency that it is and not a fucking commodity, unlike the vast majority of speculators today. Which ruined the potential of Bitcoin. Absolutely ruined it. Any potential it had, I've owned it. I've used it. I use it as a transfer mechanism. But the speculation in the Bitcoin market ruined the potential that it had. Human greed, once again. No, Bitcoin has no potential. Blockchain may, as a technology, but to supplant primary currencies, nah. We need to put Woodrow Wilson, Trump, and a pterodactyl in the same room and film it. All right, somebody dig up Wilson. Somebody get zombie Woodrow Wilson down here, goddammit. Yeah, exactly, cool boy. When rich people go bankrupt, they don't go bankrupt. It's a legality, not an actual confiscation of assets. You're quite Kingpin. I'm right now. I'm more annoyed with the left than I am the right, quite frankly. And you're not a fucking literal neo-Nazi, and you're not screaming that we should nuke Iran. So you're a perfectly reasonable human being that I can have a conversation with. So welcome. You know, we're for sure going to disagree. I think you're wrong about Trump entirely. but I'm not a fan of Obama either. I'm an anarchist, for fuck's sake. Fuck all of these people. Trump is just another ivory-towered, silver spoon, rich douchebag who screws over the common working man in the name of helping them. Fuck them all. But, Camel, I think you were here. Purity tests. Purity tests. Squatch. Hey there, Squatch. Well. Cool boy. Yeah, we can be civil for the most part. There is some shit we just can't abide. That you have to have dissected and you have to fucking tear it apart. Monster, it's pure speculation at this point, right? I keep a few $100s in Bitcoin and use it as my main spending pot. Know if Curio is on tonight. I think so. I would imagine. But things can change in a heartbeat. I don't see him online. So. But he should be on tonight. All right. Hey, what are you reading, Holly? Yeah, exactly, cool boy. If the company goes bankrupt, it's the workers who pay the price. It's the debt holders who take the hit, not the management, not the CEO, not the board of directors. They get golden parachutes. You're right. $10:30. Interesting. SJ going on late. Oh. Did you send her the book? Camel. Or send them, I shouldn't say. Rock on. Sure, hang on one second. There we go. That's better. Oh. Yeah, I think I need to add a shim to that. Yeah, well. Now it's been slow tonight. It's been chill tonight. I appreciate that. Let's see. What can I pull up that is safe? Fucking terms of services. I swear to God. If it's the same company, Monster, then it'll last you quite some time. I know this chair, one of the more infamous reviews for it is a Air Force serviceman who moved it around multiple stations around the globe, and it survived for years and years and years. It's a comfortable chair. It'll serve you well, and yeah, I do recommend it. Been slow and chill for me all day. Right at rock on, Squatch. I think we all needed a slow Friday. Like I said, I did a butt ton of theory yesterday and fucking back and forths and, you know, attempt to change minds and shit like that. And today I'm just sort of Sandman on Audible really flows well after that. I'll gush at you when I'm finished, probably. Jesus Christ, fucking carnival music. Our time is not valued in the U.S. and frankly, workers everywhere are not valued, even in the most progressive countries. Class warfare. It's been what forever. Just forever. That's it's a whole number of other shit I'd rather do than go to work, even though I fucking love my union job. I'm very fortunate. But we're on this planet for a set amount of time, and our time should cost more to the employers. It should. But under capitalism, that's not going to happen. I mean, unionization is just a stopgap methodology for trying to force that needle a little bit. But the system's designed to exploit and extract resource. You've been sending that shit around to everybody, huh, Mitray? Good job. Fish and chips for dinner or a pie and chips? Either way, headed towards some chips. Rock on. I say go for the pie. I say go for the pie, Squatch. Beef and what kind of pie? Not really, Ghost. I'm not a fan of the flavor. I just am not. I do like shellfish. I do like bivalves. Plain beef, yeah. Standard, since we're talking chips and pie, I was like, it's probably beef, but I'll ask. Beef and a nice gravy. I'll put that somewhere in the back of my head, Ghost. Thank you for the recommendation. I sent you on a spiral yesterday. I've been on a mission to set up layered pseudonym. Fair enough. What exactly sent you on that spiral? Hollywood. What did I say exactly? Refresh my memory. I don't commit streams to memory very well. Because, you know, slow like this, I'm fine. But if I'm in rhythm and I'm having to, like, go back and forth between 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people in discussions, shit does not get to transcribe to the long-term memory. Okay. So it was about my name. All right, yeah. I know what you're talking about then. I do like a nice curry pie, though, says Squatch. I don't have the love for curry that the British, the UK inspired, you know, definitely British. Good luck, Squatch. Enjoy. Yeah. How do the Aussies feel about, curry? Mitray, like British curry, not actual curry. So we got some love for yellow curry, it seems like. Jesus Christ. Mitray. Aussies love their curry. All right. I mean, you know, they're a colony. As expected. Exempt workers' rights over here all you want, but these multinationals just shift to other countries where rules don't apply. Also, automation is going to put a lot of pressure on working jobs. Many will simply have no job because their job no longer exists. Yeah. Yeah, and that falls to the electorate, the proletariat, to enforce that at the political level, that we need to hold these companies' feet to the fire, right? There needs to be consequences for offshoring assets like that. But if I kick a few million in the direction of a politician, shit ain't gonna happen, is it? Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh. Oh. Companies that ship their jobs overseas should be taxed to their nards. Yeah, that would be the most effective route. Oh, forgive me. That would be the most effective route, is to fucking regulate them to the ground. I mean, this is where Chomsky comes into play as an anarchist. Like, the only tool you have in your tool belt, really, to address these multinational conglomerates that exist now is governance. And so as an anarchist, we may want to dissolve the state as badly as the next guy, but the fact of the matter is that it's the only tool we have to attack these things. Because if you dissolve the United States government, you realize what's going to happen. The corporations are just going to step in. It's going to become company towns and neo-feudalistic situations. It's going to be a nightmare. So yeah. Western countries love free markets, so people decide to buy off Eastern countries instead. Yeah, it's called exploitation, Ghost. Yeah. They're taking advantage of indentured servitude and near slave labor and literal slave labor in so many instances. It's called exploitation. It's what capitalists are really good at. Whether they're exploiting natural resources or people. No, it's inherent within capitalism. This is what one of Marx's main critiques of capitalism is that end stage or late stage capitalism inevitably starts looking at the labor. Hey, Two Rabbit, starts looking at the labor as the point of extraction of resource, because you hit an upper limit of the profit margin that you can actually extract. And when you hit that limit, you need to turn inwardly on the system. So you start exploiting the natural resources, you start exploiting the labor market, and you start exploiting the consumers themselves. It is what is. It's inherent within capitalism to do this, because it relies upon a system of infinite growth in a finite system. It's just impossible. Except they really don't. It's called market capture. There's no way you're going to buy a $65 union-made, ecologically friendly t-shirt when you can buy a pack of 12 for $3.95, especially when you don't make enough to buy 5 or 10 of those t-shirts. This is why Walmart and Amazon has supplanted the main street. Small business is dying out as a result of it. The middle class is being eliminated. And you're seeing stratification between the poor, the working people, and the super wealthy. Sure they do. Forced obsolescence. There you go, Ghost. Right there. There's the nail in the coffin. The consumer doesn't get exploited. What do you think forced obsolescence is? Or planned obsolescence? That's exploitation of the consumer. Happens all over the place, and Apple is having to pay millions of dollars because they got caught doing it. Happens all over the place. Electronics are infamous for it. No, planned obsolescence is building in a series of flaws into your device, or a methodology into your device or product that renders it useless in a certain amount of time. That way, the consumer is forced to upgrade and or purchase a new set. I was thinking of leaving for Canada after I get my music degree. Yeah, Apple's paying a massive fine right now because they got caught doing it. The track phone has it as well, Ghost. That's the thing. It's pervasive. Even light bulbs have it. You can scream free market all you want. It's not free. You can, in fact, build your own iPhone. Or you could buy a Fairphone, which actually costs a decent amount, but has a tracked and traced supply line behind it. Yep, you don't actually own your Tesla car either. It's true. Yeah, the Tesla stuff is very much like a John Deere tractor. It's a service level agreement. It's called an SLA. Yeah, Monster, that's weird as fuck. Like, you buy a good phone and you can keep it for years. Just don't treat it like shit. It is a sensitive electronic device. It's a computer in your pocket, after all. Yeah, gaming is definitely moving into that service fucking direction. Exactly. I think I've 4 or 5 years now on my cell phone. Cool boy. I'm just waiting for Camo. Yep, time to move to Canada. They've got a lot of problems too. Don't let them fool you. It's just when you're an apartment, when you live in the apartment above a burning meth lab, most people don't pay very much attention to you. So better healthcare though. Better healthcare. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's my description for the U.S. The U.S. is a burning meth lab. That's the best descriptor I can come up for this shithole. It's a meth lab on fire. You may not know about it, but the entire IT industry knows about it, including the court system, Ghost. We've known about it for years. So, welcome to the party. It's a thing. Yeah. It's a very real thing. And that is exploitation of the consumer. Planned obsolescence and forced obsolescence have been a feature within manufacturing for quite some time. Hey, Momo. It's a slow, chill stream today, Momo. It's a good one to come in on, I think, or maybe not, depending on what you're after. If you're after the Thunderdome, then today it is proving not to be the Thunderdome. It's a nice, slow, chill Friday stream. Two Rabbits, best example of manufactured obsolescence, digital TV signals, bricked an entire generation of televisions in one go. Oh yeah, so it was a fucking drop in the fucking bucket. Much better? It depends. This is gonna be horrible. Camel, are you white? If you're white, yeah, probably much better. It's fucking brutal to say it, but it's the truth. If you can pass, then you're good. Yeah, see well, that's the thing. Yeah, and yeah, fucking Momo, if you're white and or able-bodied. Yeah. Well. Peach, congratulations on your 40. No. Yeah, I still don't see him. Just keeping an eye out for Curio. Let me see. Hang on. I'm gonna toggle over somewhere else. Nope. Cool. Oh, I know. Oh my God. Oh, I just stretched a little bit ago, Panda. I'll move around a little bit. Cool boy. I have a freezer. Jesus Christ. I have a freezer, refrigerator freezer combo out in my garage that I've had for years. Runs like a fucking champ. Got a new refrigerator last year for the kitchen. Shit's already on the fritz. And looked it up online, and everybody has the same problem with it. The electronics that they used in it aren't sealed against moisture. And this is not a low-end refrigerator. This is something that, you know. Well, Camel, you can talk to Heart Joe, both on the Discord server and in chat. He is a German national, and he can point you in the right direction as far as that goes. Hey, you're welcome. Always happy to get somebody out of this fucking shithole. Alright. First leg on the Underground Railroad. Let's go with this. God damn. I still... Hang on. Hang on. I think I do have something in my finger. Oh, well. Yeah, did we ever figure out where that swap site for citizenship was? Yeah, that Italian. Yep, there's Joe. Apple has been caught quite literally putting low-grade chips on otherwise high-grade setups that are generally known in the tech community to fry out after a few years. Yeah, Two Rabbit. No, I haven't. And if you find where that citizenship swap happens, motherfucker, you better hit me up. I will find you. Yeah, that was funny as balls, dude. That Italian Trump supporter was nuts. That was funny as hell. I'll post in Discord, I have no doubt. Good. You want to trade citizenship? Yes. Yes, I do. 100%, motherfucker. Like, unhesitatingly, I'm coming. Yeah, I don't think he was prepared for that. Oh, yeah, Camel. You'd be amazed the weirdos I get. You'd be amazed the weirdos that we get. Because I just, you know, I put anarchist and leftist in the stream title. It's fucking chum in the water. And yeah, I checked him out. He really is. He's an Italian streamer. He legitimately was. You know, he said, well, I'm not American, I'm Italian. And I was like, well, yes, Panda, fucking neo-Nazis last night. Say there were people here for it. Those of you that may have doubted, like, there were neo-Nazis? Yeah, there were neo-Nazis here last night. More than one. Fucking weird. The whole night was a fucking throwaway. Peach. I regret moving back to the States so much. Taiwan was great. Nationalized healthcare, low cost of living, beautiful nature, etc. Yeah, it's just the whole, doctor, I just 2 in a row. No stretchy stretch. Yeah, Cat did call that shit. Yeah, the only problem with that, Peach, is the whole fucking China thing. Yeah, the whole, well, you know. Hello, we want you back. You're ours. Problem, but hey. Monster, we have Trump supporters here too. It's a damn cult. Yes. Yes, it is. It very much is. It's really, 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 really a cult. It's fucking nuts. Yeah, so pretty much like most places. If I remember, he thought Mussolini was a chump. I do think he did. Yeah, he took great exception with the use of the term fascist. That's what set him off. And he just lost it from there. There you go, Camel. Straight from the German's mouth. I was gonna say straight from the horse's mouth, but I didn't want to call you a horse. Trump made Antifa a terrorist organization to punish the demon rats for making it so people on terrorist lists could get guns. Wait, what? Oh, the Democrats. Let's see. That makes it sound like Democrats were attempting to expand gun rights. Well. I mean, the China thing isn't really a day-to-day reality, to be honest. The thing that I see mostly every day is the current land struggles between the government and indigenous people. God damn it, if that isn't the fucking truth everywhere you go, Peach. I'm super glad I'm not indigenous, to be perfectly honest. I mean, admit your privilege, right? Jesus Christ. Talk about a group that gets fucked over everywhere you go. I mean, it doesn't matter. Taiwan, Australia, Canada, the US, Africa. Doesn't fucking matter. Doesn't fucking matter. Jesus Christ. Between the government and indigenous people on the island. The China stuff is in the news a lot, but it doesn't affect the people's everyday life. And likely nothing will ever happen between the two, just to stand still forever. Well, we keep you armed well enough. That's for sure. Coming between neo-Nazis and the kid who wanted purity tests for all anarchists, it's hard to remember all the details from each argument. I know, 2Rabbit. It all just blends together at a certain point. You're just like, you just remember just a string of assholes. It's like America intensifies Panda. It's like you know, a Saturday night at the gay club. Just for you two, Rabbit. They were trying to make it so people who thought the U.S. Thought might be terrorists couldn't get guns, and the claims flipped and used directly versus Democrats. Seriously, Ghost, like, just say Democrats. Okay, come on, hackneyed thing. Kingpin, no, that's very real. The Socialist Rifle Association is a very real thing. Marx specifically said that any attempt to force surrender of guns or ammunition should be frustrated by force if necessary. It's the left isn't anti-gun. It's centrists, neolibs, and by extension Democrats, right? Because they are centrists and by and large neolibs these days. Hey, Doc. No, we're fine in that regard. I'm talking about Native Americans? Yes, I'm talking about the native, indigenous, or whatever you wish to refer. Japan, only in the last few years were the Ainu were acknowledged as a people. Of course. Like I said, this is I'm glad I'm not. Like I said, that's a whole that's just a Sisyphean task. I mean, talk about a cross to bear. Fuck me. Good on you, Two Rabbit. Good on you. You and Sue and everybody else who hammers that fucking nail or drum or whatever idiom you want to use. Japan gets too much of a free pass. They do. They've gotten away with a lot of shit that nobody calls them out on. Yeah, Panda, he did. Well, at least he suspects he did. Yeah. He thinks he found the guy, like, in the hotel at the time. Yeah, he's a good egg. He is a good egg. But no need to prostrate yourself before each other. All equal in the eyes of blah, 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 blah. Fill in your own blank. Are you playing the... Wait. What game was it that you were playing, Camel? Momo, hey, want to come find mine? Haven't heard Jack from the police. See, I've had one as well, Momo. I mean, there was a whole thing a little while back that kind of brought some of the old drama back to the surface, and we talked about it on stream a bit. Sorry you're having to deal with that. At least I knew who mine was. Oh, Battlefront. Fuck Battlefront. But, you know, you know why. You know why. I don't need to explain. Oh, Zealot. You were working... You were doing woodwork and steelwork outside in like 100+ Fahrenheit degree weather. Plus, you went rock climbing. I wonder why you just passed out randomly. What are you, new? You fucking... You're just like, of course, as soon as you sat down, you just... I mean, of course... Yeah. Not that surprised. I'm surprised you're conscious now. You're astounding. Oops. Yeah. So then you decide to top it off with a little smoke. Hydrate, Zealot. Hydrate. Water. Hey, Jack. Fairly chill stream, Jack. I'm pretty fucking heavy-handed with the morons and chuds and assholes tonight. After the bullshit I dealt with yesterday. So, welcome. I don't know, Peach. That isn't the window I wanted. Jesus Christ. Bye, Doc? I don't know what the fuck that was about. Manager. There we go. Maybe another hour or more. It just sort of depends how I feel. Peach. Yes, Zealot, you did need that water. Done, you dumb son bitch. How many pounds did you sweat out today? By the way, maybe, don't forget your electrolytes. Like, you need some salt, you need some potassium, you need some magnesium. You don't forget those electrolytes. So, eat a banana, have some spinach, and a little bit of, table salt. Yep, Jack, fuck it. Yeah, you need to watch out for those electrolytes. Yeah, exactly, Mooma. Make a smoothie with all that. Watch out for yourself, my man. Can't be doing that shit. You end up fucking having heat stroke and end up in the hospital. Or, as y'all put it, down under, you end up in hospital. We say the hospital. Everybody else in the colony realm fucking says hospital. Alright, so let me scroll back. That's good to hear, too, Rabbit. At least they figured that shit out. Smoothies, I get lazy making my own because we have Boost Juice. And they're always doing deals. Probably very much like our Jamba Juice in this country. Given they even call it Boost Juice. And Jamba Juice in this country uses what they call boosts. That they put in the juices. Which is nothing more than flavored sugar water at the end of the day. It's like 1,000 calories in one of those fucking things. But it seems like you could probably use the calories too. No, this last electoral cycle has definitely been a heavy indigenous / native. Ours is booster juice. There you go. It's all the fucking same. I'd like to know who came up with it first and who's just copying everybody else. Yeah, this electoral cycle was definitely heavy native indigenous influence. Yeah, I have to go to Jamba Juice after we burn down all the Starbucks or whatever that was about. Surfboard trailer for a life-saving club, so cutting out the steel floor and replacing it with marine plywood. Nice. Good for you. And Momo is correct. You don't taste the spinach. They'll make you all drink Starbucks, Tucker Carlson. Tucker Swanson Carlson, the heiress to the Swanson frozen foods fortune. Always have to point that out whenever old Tucker comes up. Kava, on the other hand, that'll kill any other flavor you pair with it. Dude, Rabbit, I haven't found a single thing that can even mediate that flavor. There's nothing you can pair it with. Like mouthwash wouldn't pair with it. There's nothing that can mediate that flavor profile. It is truly the most horrific flavor profile. I have an answer for you. What is it? Tucker, I give speeches at Wall Street, Carlson. I'm looking forward to this. And by God, it is the most ridiculous middle-class thing you've heard of in a while. Yeah, Joe, Kratom's just bitter green tea. I agree. It's the same fucking flavor profile. Pumpkin spice Atoy. Oh my God. You're right. That is the most middle class thing. I don't think. I mean, I couldn't. I mean, it's just. Huh. I couldn't imagine any of that actually. It would just make the pumpkin spice stuff taste horrific. Okay, so it just tamps it down a touch. Yeah. I'm not a huge pumpkin spice guy anyway. I'm not a big fan of the warming spices. They have their place in like apple pie. Balut is something that shouldn't be eaten. I'm sorry. Keep your native cuisines and culture and all of that sort of stuff. Balut is just horrifying to eat. It just is. It's. I don't want to eat feathers and a partially developed bird fetus. Like it just. It's disgusting. It just is. I'm sorry. And I've had, you know, I come from a nursing family, right? My mom's a nurse, and Filipina nurses are a thing here in the States. So I grew up like going to like cookouts, thrown by Filipino families and stuff like that. And balut can go fuck itself. You could just take that shit somewhere else. But sisig is fucking amazing. The lechon that comes out of fucking, you know, the Philippines is goddamn perfection as far as I'm concerned. You know, there's a whole host of dishes that come out of the Philippines that are just brutally amazing. But balut is not one of them. And for those of you that aren't aware, it's traditionally duck eggs. It's fertilized duck eggs. 14 to 16 days tends to be the sweet spot. I noticed, at least as far as street sales used to go. And it is. It's a partially developed bird fetus. Feathers. And you crack it open, you throw some salt on it, and you eat it. And it is horrific. It's not something that is pleasant to eat unless you grow up with it. If you grow up with it, it's a fucking snack. But for the rest of us who aren't used to eating fertilized bird eggs, it's terrifying and disgusting. It's a Survivor famous item, so if I had to try it, I think chat's in the bathroom dry retching. So I had to try it. I'm winning that million, so if I have to eat balut, I'm prepared, but it was not fun. Yeah, no, it's horrible. When I worked at a high-end hotel, one of the engineers was from the Philippines. Every once in a while, he would reheat his lunch in the microwave. Twice, they evac the building for a gas leak. Oh. It is fair. That's fair. But like I said, the lechon that comes out of the Philippines, the roast pig, whole roast pig, the crisp that they put on that skin is second to none. I've never seen anybody else cook a pig as effectively on an open fire as they do. Right? I prefer Southern barbecue. For whole hog, Carolina, Southern barbecue, specifically North Carolina, low country, with a vinegar base, maybe a mustard vinegar base, sauce. That's my preferred, but the skin that comes off of a Philippine lechon, there's nothing like it. It is, if you haven't had it, you should. Let me just put it that way. Even if you're like, I don't eat pig for a variety of reasons, just try it once because it's amazing. It truly is. I gotta tell you, that peach that your character is holding, that heart-shaped peach, I swear to God, I thought that was somebody with their ass bent over with their ass showing and the looking back. Momo. That's really good. That's really good. Yeah, because it is just that. And, but that passes terms of service. But yeah, it really looks like you're mooning somebody with that one. I like it. Good job on that. If you did it yourself, mad props. But if you commissioned it, fucking congratulations to whoever drew that one. That's a slick one. Yeah, no, there's so many good foods in this world. Once upon a time, before I had all of this autoimmune shit kick off, I was, I'm quite the cook. Anyway, hired a friend. He did a masterful job. Yeah, he did. I'm quite the cook. Like, I have proper smokers and barbecue and done in-ground and all sorts of stuff. And I quite enjoy, the cultural artifact that is food preparation, especially poor people food. Poor people food's always the best food. Mitra and I talked about this one night, actually. The various cuts of meat that are traditionally poor people scrap food that become amazing cuisine, and then the rich people rediscover it through like restaurants because chefs find out about it again from grandmas and street food and that sort of stuff, and they popularize it, and the next thing you know, that cut of off meat is $1 billion. You're like, why can't I get fucking oxtail? Why can't I get marrow bones? Oh, because fucking some chef made it, some celebrity chef made a dish out of it, and now it's the thing. Drives me up a wall. Are we gonna see Civil War?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Probably not. I don't think anybody has it in them. I don't think the Americans have the stones on them to do it, quite frankly. Panametzer census is in full effect. We're fed. We have distractions. It's not a thing that's going to happen, either on the left or the right. I have Ghost. I have had foie gras. Take it or leave it. For me, it's not the end-all, be-all that it is for some culinarians. Kaiser Korean barbecue is life. Two Rabbit, the 12-part series by Ken Burns. Very well done. Haven't seen it, Two Rabbit. I'll make a note that there's some Ken Burns stuff I need to watch, but there's more Ken Burns stuff I need to watch anyway. So, Zealot, for me, food is food. Yeah, Momo, meat allergy. Yeah, that's the thing. With the autoimmune stuff, it's a whole ball of fucking wax that you have to deal with. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Tenderizer. Hey, Pastique, we're just talking. Hey, Frenchman, we're talking food. I'm sure you might have an opinion or two. We were talking, yeah, we actually, somebody just asked about foie gras. Do I like MSG? I don't care. MSG, like, I mean, I think there's easier, not easier. Scratch that, strike that. I think that MSG can easily be replaced by other things that bring umami to the table. MSG is a shortcut for a long, slow cooking method. $1.25, $1.30 fluctuate. At 5.10. So mushrooms, meats, bones, proper broth and stock, and you don't need MSG. But if you need a shortcut, by all means, use it. MSN, we back on Messenger? ASL? Yeah, exactly. Pastique, fucking, never used MSG. Yeah. Hong Kong, yeah, that's where you'd find it. Like, the French would not be fans, by and large. Like, there's other ways to get glutamates into your food stock, into your stuff, into your food, than using an extract. I've tried it. I'm telling you, it's just a lazy man's way of introducing glutamate into food. That's all. I'm not saying, I have said neither here nor there about whether you should or shouldn't. I'm just saying it's the easy shortcut. And there are cooks and chefs that disagree with this as a shortcut. There are those that agree with it. But it is just a simple a molecule of glutamate that you're introducing in salt form. That's all. But you can do the same by, making a mushroom roux. You can do the same by slow roasting bones. You can do all of this sorts of stuff and get a more complex flavor out of that. Yeah, or just by buying a better product. Exactly, Pestique. No, I've not had Japanese Wagyu. Now, the American counterpart I have had, but this is a terroir or point of origin discussion. Yeah, we imported, somebody imported a couple of the cows. That's from what I understand back in the day. Somebody imported a couple of the cows, and that's that. But it's not the same area. They're not being fed the same feed. They're not, there's things that lead to, this is why the French have the word, the terroir. You can taste the terrain in the food, in the animal, in the product. And it's not the same. It just isn't. Terroir. Yeah, stole my you stole my comment. Yeah, no, this is a very important concept to the French, and it's valid. It's not just French food snobbery, which there's a lot of pastique. There's a lot of that shit, and you know it. But you know, yeah, it does matter where something is produced. Cat, I swear the French have. Yes, there's a lot. I swear the French have a word for everything. And Kaiser, Korean barbecue is just a good excuse to get wasted on soju. Hey, fuck yeah. Cheese is a weird concept. Rotten cow juice. Yes, it is. And fun fact, the reason that cheese smells like stinky feet is it's the same bacterial culture that makes your feet stink that does make cheese smell that way. Just a fun little fact. Oh. Ugh, I hate truffle oil. I hate truffle oil. French cheese are not snobbish, most of them at least. I mean, that's the thing. French people can treat French cuisine with a high level of snobbery, but most French cuisine outside of, what is it, what do I want to say, like a Parisian 3-star Michelin restaurant, most French cuisine is of the people, right? It's of the countryside. And so it is humble cuisine. It's just when you enter that Parisian sphere that things get dialed up to 1,000. Provincial is life. Provincial. Paris people are not French, they are Parisians, because they are better than the basic shit-shoveling French people. Oh, Jesus Christ, tenderizer, really? You put bacon, the cheese of the region, potato, onions, and the alcohol of the region. You got your specialty meal. Yeah, there's been some interesting developments as far as the lactose intolerance rates. I don't remember what it was. But yeah, somebody was discussing that on Reddit the other day, that there was some interesting, I'm fully aware that, yeah, most people of Asian lineage are lactose intolerant, but it actually subdivides further than just Asian. Sell it. Nice. Let's see. Put that on. Kind of like that map of New Yorker's view of the United States. New York, then New Jersey, then the rest of the country. Where? Ghost. How much money do you think is a bare minimum somebody can survive on? Where? I mean, right now we're talking about France and fucking Europe, and I mean, like, the question is where? I mean, sub-Saharan Africa, Italy, Hong Kong, New York, Paducah, Kentucky. Well, you're probably going to be in some place like rural Louisiana or Mississippi. And if you're hunting your own game, which many people still do, they hunt and trap and fish, you can eliminate the protein cost. If you grow your own vegetables, which you can do, and many poor people do, having lived in that region. It is a common thing. You can probably... I was talking to a guy from Louisiana years ago now. And his biggest bill on a monthly basis was his cell phone bill for the family. So on a daily basis, you can probably survive on little to nothing if you're set up correctly. That is, if you're established, you have a little piece of land or something, if you have a house, if you have, you know, something to work off of. Now, if you don't have that, then you're fucked. Food cost a bit. Rent costs a bit. Electricity and water cost a bit. So single person, non-correctly set up, survive maybe $10 to $20 a day if you're clever, but it's not very much of a living. You're surviving, you're scraping by, you're eking that out. On top of that, I'm not factoring that in as anything. Like, I'm saying just survive. Yeah. But once you start figuring in the bills and the costs, gasoline for the car, rent costs, electricity bill, water bill, rent, cell phones, internet costs, any and all of these sorts of things factor in. You better have 2 to 3 jobs if you're making minimum wage. Yeah. It's like that. If you're making minimum wage, then you're going to need 2 to 3 jobs. I would say $120 to $160 if you rent and you don't, even if you don't have a car payment, you outright own your vehicle. Everything else, yeah, you're gonna need to make $70 to $90. 60 on the low end. I have a buddy that puts in, I mean, he's broke as fuck. He puts in 80 hours a week. $80 hours at minimum wage. After withholdings, you're looking at about $1,800. And that's surviving. That's not thriving. That's not doing well. That's just surviving. Later, Tenderizer. Sorry, I didn't notice that. I'm just catching up. Rob and I live in one of the lowest cost of areas in the U.S. Minimum wage here is still just over $7 an hour, probably $7.25. It can't even support a single person with no extraneous bills. They have to have a second job minimum. Zealot, don't know. It's the way it works. Yeah, that's just getting by without an abrupt emergency or any emergency, really. A flat tire would throw your bills into total chaos. Yeah, either way. Yeah, it's fine, cool boy. Yeah. Yeah, that's why the working poor in this country have usually, on average, something like 2.5 jobs, because they straddle between 2 and 3 jobs. And I have known people who work 3 jobs. And it's something that younger people can sometimes get away with because they have the physicality for it, right? But it's not something that you can do as you get too much older. It becomes untenable. But yeah. Zealot, when I was 14 years old, I got a job pushing shopping carts. It paid $8.50 an hour. This is disgusting. Oh, wage stagnation in the U.S., Zealot, is ridiculous. And yeah, that's $8.50 an hour Australian. And that was how many years ago, Zealot? 12 years ago. Yeah. All right. How do they expect you to eat? McDonald's and go fuck yourself. I can't math. Two Rabbit, by the way, that's a right to work state, so you can be fired at any time for any reason without notice. Yes, thank the Taft-Hartley Act for introducing that concept. Yeah, they don't care if 18. Good. I'm okay with that. Immigrants power this country. This country falls apart without immigrants. Like, anti-immigrant sentiment in this country is ridiculous. It's one of the stupidest fucking things people get up to. But by all means. Yeah. Like, you think you're gonna get white people to pick fucking produce? Shit. That guacamole is gonna cost you $47. You know that, right? You think avocados are expensive now? Wait till white people pick them. Shit. It's gonna be a $25 avocado. That little scoop of side of guac, it's gonna be $47. Watch. Borders are a meme. There you go. I like that take. Have genuinely heard people say if they want more food, they should work harder. Yeah, I genuinely have heard shit like along that lines as well. Rabbit, it's fucking disgusting. We lost a whole salary this year just to pay the form fee. We gave more money to USA than what we got in return. Yeah, sounds about right. Sounds about right. Avo on toast was the biggest meme. One slice cost more than a Big Mac meal. Of course it did. Of course it fucking did. Of course, Big Mac meal is barely food, by the way. Aren't you glad high-grade, cheap capitalism in the form of Aldi started opening stores in the U.S.? I mean, they push a lot of shit, but at least you can get actual veggies on the cheap. Jesus. Sure. It's real beef. Here's the problem. The partially hydrogenated soybean oil, the ammonium sulfate, the azodicarbamide, the exfoliated monoglycerides, The guar gum they use as a binder. The soy flour they use as filler. Let's see. What's the so-called cheese? Mostly soy, less milk and water these days. The Big Mac sauce, high fructose corn syrup, primarily soybean oil, primarily soybean oil and high fructose corn syrup, of course. High fructose corn syrup again. Let's see. Calcium disodium EDTA is a preservative as well as sodium benzoate. Let's see. Sugar. More sugar. Trans fat. 231-page material safety data sheet for the ammonium sulfate alone. The azodicarbamide is banned as a food additive everywhere else in the world. Carries a penalty of 15 years of imprisonment and a fine of $450,000 if you use it in Singapore. Sodium benzoate has years of concern behind it. Cell damage, cancer using through a reaction of vitamin C resulting in benzene when it comes into contact with it. Yeah. I mean, you can say it's food because it's consumable. Kaiser. Also, fun fact, if the U.S. student wants to study abroad for a semester and they have to get a job for incidentals, the U.S. taxes their income on... Oh, yeah, no, we claim worldwide jurisdiction on all taxable income of our citizens. Doesn't matter if you're living somewhere else. If you still have a U.S. citizenship active, you owe us income tax. We own you. We own you. This country is fucking ridiculous. McDonald's isn't food, it's a drug. I so agree with that. Having worked at McDonald's over 20 years ago, it's honestly really not. Oh, okay, cool. All right, got it, Cool Boy. Everybody just go into stasis mode until Cool Boy gets back. Got it. Their birthday ice cream cake. I've never even had it. Interesting, Joe. That is an interesting little anecdote about the brothers behind Aldi. We'll pay you 1 year after we made the profits. Interesting. As you say, you got Quest to sell it? I don't know who the fuck that is. Hang on, let me look up whoever the fuck Mackenzie Scott is supposed to be. Oh. Okay. Her. Best stock market investor ever, according to Wall Street Bets. Yeah. Fucking Bezos' ex. She fucking baller, I'll admit that. Fucking. You know she knew he was fucking around for a while. And she was just like, I'll just wait until the stock climbs a little further. Then I'll take him for a stupid amount of money. Fourth richest woman in the world from a divorce. fucking just from a divorce. Fourth richest woman in the world. That's baller. Good for her. First thing she did when she got that divorce was donate almost $2 billion to charities. Like, the first thing she does is just start peeling off people and groups that she likes. Fucking checks. Like, here you go. Here's some of his cash. Fucking love it. She immediately started spending that Bezos money. Just to spite him, I think. Is that supposed to be an oi? Either way. Oh, silent. It's a chill stream tonight. It's a chill stream. Yesterday was very combative, was very bullshitty, with actual neo-Nazis and fucking purists on the left. So we're just having back and forth. Oh, sure, Pastique. That too. You can do many things at once, right? Time to get some fucking tax breaks and promote the image and also spend a fucking bunch of his money. Hey, if she wanted to donate $20 million to my cause so I could fucking, you know, set up a mutual aid network, I ain't gonna fucking spit in her face. Cut me the check. It's all blood money anyway. Let me have some. I'll reappropriate it. But I feel you. I've always wondered how much she squirreled away before saying we need to talk. She got a fair bit of assets too. I mean, it would be even more baller. I mean, you know, she knew for fucking ages that he was fucking around on her, and she just, you know, bided her time. So yeah, she was there at the beginning, and she was there before a prenup. Yeah, just gathering proofs. It's just she was there before a prenup. She was there before huge amounts of wealth. He was always well-to-do. You know, the family's okay. Well enough that dad could lend him $300,000 without a problem. You know, that sort of thing. But yeah, she was there pre-prenup, and she was there post-billions. Just keep it in your pants. Just keep it in your pants. Or come to an arrangement. Just fucking have an adult conversation with each other and be like, hey, sweetie, you know, people grow, things change. I've got desires. Can we address them? Is this cool? You know, have a fucking adult conversation rather than stepping out behind your back and costing you fucking billions, you dumb motherfucker. Stop listening to your dick. How old do you have to be to realize listening to your dick is probably not the smartest financial financial advice? Yeah, get a lawyer. People grow. My dick too. Can we talk about it? Yeah, we all know about your boner links. Oh, Jesus Christ. Just knocked that contact right out of fucking orientation. I think they just had an open relationship. It was fine, but then she used it. Oopsie. I don't think they did, actually. I think they had a fairly traditional relationship, but I mean, fuck, I wasn't there for it. I wasn't there at one of the Sonoma wine parties, so I can't tell you for sure. Looks like Trump is blaming the Democrat Postal Service for his loss now, even though he's got a GOP mega donor as the head of it. Just a heads up of his latest whining, like, diaper dump. When you're so rich, temptation is everywhere. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's just, people are just... No, I don't think so, Momo. I don't think so. He may never. He very well may never actually say it. Like, he may go to the grave with that shit. That, you know, it was stolen. It was an unfair rigged election. I didn't lose. You know, yeah, it's a thing. And there was a recount, Silent. There was actually 2 recounts. And so even if that, and I watched that bullshit video. Like we spent minutes on that fucking last night trying to figure out what the big deal was really. And the fact of the matter is it survived multiple recounts. The ballots are good. So I mean, recounts have actually cost Trump millions and increased the Biden votes. So he lost. His tombstone was yeah, that video is so boring. I mean, seriously, DaVinci Resolve is free to download. It was just edit your fucking video. His tombstone will read, "Here lies the 45th and the last real president of the United States." Dude, I don't doubt that in the least. I don't doubt that in the least. 100%. Hey, Biden officially secures enough electors to become president again. I don't know how many times Biden's going to win this election. Yeah, exactly. That's true, Monster. It didn't cost Trump a thing. He's just got schmucks donating money hand over fist. They did a PR run because the court laughed at their evidence. Yeah, no, they had no evidence. Every courtroom they took this shit into laughed them out. Dismissed the cases with prejudice in more often than not, and they don't have any substantial evidence, and so it's not going to be heard by the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court, the only case surrounding this that the Supreme Court actually heard was the case challenging whether states can pass legislation forcing their electors, their electoral college votes, to go with the popular vote. And it was upheld. And that was, we looked it up, it was like 32 states plus Washington, D.C. It's nothing to do. It just is at this point. I adore that. That fucking Four Seasons landscaping gaff is my favorite. It truly is. That is, some local landscaping company is now an international brand because of Trump's idiot campaign team. I adore that gaff. I really do. It's an extremely ballsy move to try and rig the election after the election. Did y'all see the case for Sidney Powell? Oh, you mean the Kraken? You mean the Kraken that was released, Momo? The Sidney Powell released the Kraken? You mean the lawsuit filing that was so poorly written that it seemed like a fucking 8th grader who had maybe dyslexia wrote it? That Kraken? That lawsuit? Claiming that machines were flipping votes from Biden to Trump because of a Hugo Chavez Venezuelan Chinese conspiracy, a CIA Venezuelan Chinese conspiracy along with the Democrats. That Kraken? Yeah, I might be aware of it. It was fucking ridiculous. Apparently she doesn't have anybody in her life that can proofread. Like, No one in her sphere of influence that can actually proofread a document. Like, hey, maybe we should include spaces, or maybe put in the correct district court in the filing title. Maybe we should, I don't know, look over this document once or twice before submitting it to a fucking court. It was brutal. That was a terrible document. It was the ramblings of a YouTube conspiracy theorist. Imagine surrounding yourself with cronies, filling the appellate courts and Supreme Court with allies, and losing to Joe Biden. He lost to Joe Biden. That's the truth, folks. He lost to Joe Biden. You want the saddest thing that could ever happen to you? Stacking the entire deck and losing to Joe Biden. Yeah, that's... This episode of American History is one of the shamefullest of all. Let's not go that far. We've got some pretty shameful episodes, Pestique. But it's definitely worth mentioning. Yes, Joe, it was the Four Seasons landscaping was sandwiched in between a dildo shop and a crematorium. Yeah. Prime real estate for a national presidential campaign press conference. Yeah. Go with this. The most shameful since fill in your blank here. That's the appropriate format for that. She corrected it so it says votes were flipped from Trump to Biden, now instead from Biden to Trump. She made a formal amendment. Release the Kraken, Part 2. Goofball. Yeah, I'm done. I mean, the truth of it is, really is a huge part of the American people get hoodwinked by a con artist from New Jersey. Fair enough. A sex shop and a crematorium on the wrong side of the city. It was like a joke wrapped in a metaphor, wrapped in a sarcastic comment. Exactly. All right, let's... Hang on. How is that not coming up in my fucking history? Yeah, motherfucker, get on your air. All right, we'll hold out for a minute. Rum and Coke time. Fuck yeah. Oh. Come as you are. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh. As you were. Best story is DPRK ballot votes in Maine. Too funny. Oh my God. And this one I'm not familiar with. Roger Stone claims North Korea used boats to smuggle in votes for Biden. Roger Stone said Wednesday that ballots were shipped to Maine by North Korean vessels with rigged ballots in tow. What the fuck? What is that dude on? Cause I mean that's some decent shit. You would have to. Jesus Christ. That's a hell of a journey. Somebody should get him a map or something. so Roger Stone can understand where North Korea is versus where Maine is. I don't know. I don't think he's parodying him at all. Roger Stone has a full-faced, like, he has a full tattoo of Nixon on his chest. This dude is like ride or die crazy. I'm not 100% on that one. Is Curio up yet? Jesus Christ, Curio. Oh, God damn it, I closed the tab. Nope. Still not up. There's a level of incompetence that whenever the horror of other former presidents brought to the world with their decision. Oh, fucking Cat. Well, we'll see what we can organize, Cat, for you if you want to make that happen. I mean, if you want to start talking about it in the Discord server and see if you can't, like, we'll see what we can make happen. I'm barely following Pestic. God damn it, Curio. Curio's stream title tonight. An entire jug of soup left abandoned? How to get any item free? Theft. How do you guys think my dad... hey, do you think my hey guys, do you think my dad will ever come back? We should have them singing it while we're Soros trolling a chud. Oh, that would be, you know, yeah. Well, I mean, if we can get the track right, if we can organize the track itself, and then just when that's happening, I can just soundboard that shit. And fucking when that happens, you just, you know, the music kicks off and fucking they get railed in chat with the Soros shtick. Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, his stream of consciousness takes are I don't know how much thought he puts into those. Oh, he just changed it. Let me get a burger with Redmond Gold Blend chewing tobacco. Have you heard in Europe when unions sack supermarkets to distribute food? It's kind of a common action. Really? Thank you, Kingpin. I don't understand why people come, but people come. The recommendations does favor me to a certain degree. This is the quietest and slowest it's been in a while. Truly. And I like that I needed this day off. It's like the algorithm knew Kai needed a slow day. But thank you for the compliment. I try and give individualized attention, but if there were more people, I know that would go out the window. And today's been very theory light. It's been very sort of, you know, we didn't have to get into the brass tacks and philosophies of anything, and nobody was too much of a fucking dickhead except a few early on that had to go. But thank you. Let's see. It's probably the most Kentucky title I've seen so far. No, Pastique. I haven't actually heard about that. Unions sacking supermarkets to distribute food as a common form of direct action in Europe. If you've got any articles on that or example cases of when and where and how and that sort of thing, I'd love to see them. Because because that definitely runs contrary, especially like the French, because the Chuds always support the French when they're rioting these days. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you still get the few that are like, oh, the French are finally fucking standing up for something. Fucking, you know, white flag, don't surrender. But yeah, I noticed that Americans have a proclivity for supporting the French when they're out in the street burning something. Meanwhile, if somebody else does it here, they immediately get on their high horse. So I'd love to have some like video of them sacking a fucking supermarket so I can provide international context in the future. Oh, we're doing this then. All right, motherfuckers. I'm done. My voice is already fucking getting scratchy. So we're gonna raid over to Curio. I'm gonna tap. I'm gonna go say hi to him. Thanks for hanging out. Enjoy your weekend. You know the deal if you're a long timer or a regular of any sort. I take the weekends off. But I'll see you Monday, same time. KaisThings.com, KASThings.com. Catch all my stuff. But let's head on over to Curio. I'm glad you finally got to catch me too, Momo. And you're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. I hope you're as well as you can be. Till next time, folks.